to my channel. My name is Birdie, and today I'm going to be teaching you some of the most basic stitches that you're going to be needing to start crocheting. We're going to cover chains, single crochet, and half double crochet today. These are some of the stitches that come up the most often while you're crocheting, and they're really the bread and butter of your toolbox. I'm so happy that you're here, and let's get started. For this demonstration, I'm going to have my camera zoomed in a little closer than I normally would so that you can see my hands and the stitches easier, and I'm going to be using a large crochet hook and yarn to also make it easier to see what I'm doing. We're going to begin with a slip knot that will make our beginning loop, and from there we'll begin chaining. Chaining, abbreviated with a CH in pattern notation, is how we begin crocheting. If you're familiar with knitting, this is the knit equivalent of casting on. Every chain that we make will equal 1 stitch, so you'll chain however many stitches you need. The slip knot here is done as follows. Hold the end of the yarn in one hand and the rest of the yarn in the other. Make a circle, overlapping the end of the yarn over the rest of it. Grab the X where the yarn crosses over itself, pick up your circle, and weave the tail of your yarn underneath it. Now the end of your yarn will be dividing it in half, laying under your loop. Try to make your loop on the smaller side, no bigger than 3 inches or so, or it'll come apart like this if you make it too big. Also make sure that your tail end here has some length to it, as you'll need a few inches of room to make your loop fit your hook. Now you're going to pinch and grab the yarn that's dividing the circle and pull up. Grab that cross string in one hand, the tail end and rest of the yarn in the other, and then just pull, letting the loop freely slide through your fingers as you tighten the knot. Don't yank on it too much, as you want to be able to resize your loop, but tight enough where the knot holds. Place the loop on your crochet hook and tug on the tail and working yarn to fit it to your hook. Again, the key is not to be too tight here. Tight enough where it'll stay on your hook, but with enough wiggle room to work with the stitch. And now we're ready to start. How you hold your crochet hook and yarn is largely up to personal preference. You want to have the crochet hook in your dominant hand and your yarn in your non-dominant hand. For me, I'm right-handed, so I hold the hook in my right hand and the yarn in my left. For holding the hook, you can hold it like a pencil, like this, or like a knife, like this. I tend to hold mine with the knife method, but either one, or if you find a different way, is totally fine. Holding your working yarn can be done a few different ways too. Play around with wrapping the yarn around your pinky and index finger, and you'll find what works best. This is how I hold my yarn. No matter what way you choose, make sure that you're able to keep good tension on your working yarn. Not too tight, not hanging loose. You don't want to grip the yarn too tightly in your non-dominant hand either. See how I'm just getting a constant, easy flowing feed of yarn when I need it? That's what you want. Play around with it to find what works best for you and your hands. Once you find something that works, we're going to begin chaining. Grab the yarn with your hook and pull it through the loop on your hook. Congratulations, you've just made your first chain, and now do it again. Grab the yarn with your hook and pull it through the loop on your hook. Do it again, just grab and pull. There you go. Once you've done it a few times, you'll have this string of loops connected to each other. As I said before, each loop or chain is a stitch. So here I can count them starting with this loop, not starting with the one on the hook, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Practice making chains, working on getting them to be around the same size, and, as always, not too loose and not too tight. So how do we apply this in a pattern? In pattern notation, as I said before, chain is abbreviated to CH. So, if a pattern says CH11, that means we're going to be chaining 11 stitches, making 11 of those loops. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now we're going to learn how to do single crochet. Single crochet is abbreviated as SC in patterns. Most patterns will have you start crocheting in the second chain from the hook unless specified otherwise. As you can see, the one closest to the hook isn't quite complete as part of it is on the crochet hook. You're going to take the pointed head of your hook and poke it into the middle of each loop or stitch, going underneath where the yarn crosses and the loops interlock. Once you've poked it through, you're going to grab the yarn with your hook and pull it through the chain. You should now have 2 loops on your hook. Grab the yarn again and pull it through both loops at the same time. Now you have 1 loop on your hook and you've made your first single crochet. Again, poke your crochet hook through the middle of the next chain. Grab the yarn once, pull it through the chain, grab the yarn again, and pull it through both loops. Keep going down your line of chains, putting 1 single crochet in each chain. This is what your work will look like after you have your first row established. Just like with our string of chains, you can see the top of the work has those interlocking V-shaped loops again. Now you're going to chain 1 more stitch. Oftentimes patterns will have you chain an extra stitch or 2 at the end of one row before another begins. This bumps your hook up a little to the level that your next row will be and keeps your edges straight rather than straining and bending up to reach the next row. You're also going to turn your work. Yes, just flip it right around to face the other way and we're on to our second row of single crochet. Again, hook goes under the stitch, grabs the yarn, pulls it through, grabs the yarn again, and pulls through both loops. Let's keep going down the end of the row. Make the extra chain, turn your work around, and we're going to go again. Let's do 3 more rows of single crochet so that we'll have 5 rows of single crochet total. Feel free to pause the video here to do that, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so as you can see, I now have 5 rows of my single crochet. You can see each individual stitch and each row of alternating single crochet stitches from the front and back. Now we're going to move into doing half double crochet. Half double crochet is the next tallest crochet stitch. As you continue to do more and more stitches, they'll get taller with more loops and more holes or space between stitches. Just like with the single crochet, we're going to chain 1 more stitch and turn our work. We're now going to do what's called a yarn over. You're going to take the yarn and from back to front, pull the yarn over the crochet hook. Now poke the hook through the lower stitch just like before, and now you'll have that yarn over in between the lower stitch and loop on your hook for 4 pieces of yarn on the hook. Grab the yarn and this time you're going to pull it through the stitch and the yarn over, so pull it underneath all 3 of those loops closest to the head of your hook. Now you'll have 2 loops on your hook and you'll grab the yarn and pull it through both again, just like with the single crochet. Let's do it again. Yarn over from behind, poke the hook through the stitch on the previous row, grab the yarn, pull the yarn through the stitch and the yarn over. Grab the yarn again, and pull it through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. Do it again, and keep going down the row, putting 1 half double stitch in each stitch from below. Let's come back together when we've all made 4 more rows of half double crochet for 5 rows of half double crochet total. Don't forget to put that extra chain and turn at the end of each row. You can see here the individual half double crochet stitches and the rows themselves. You might notice that your half double crochet section might be wider or taller than the single crochet section. This is a great example of how different stitches alter the size and texture of your finished work. And that's that's going to be our stopping point for today. The next video will be on double crochet and triple or treble crochet, so stay tuned for the next part in the basic crochet stitches series. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel with the bell down below, and check out the links to my Patreon and my other social medias in the description below. Love, kindness, and good vibes as always. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.